The destruction of Seneca Village is a forgotten yet essential part of the history of Central Park in New York City. Prior to the construction of the park, there was a thriving African American village on the very same land. This village, first established in 1825, was home to a diverse array of individuals from a variety of social backgrounds, united in their desire to create a stable and safe community. Seneca Village was one of the earliest examples of a thriving urban African American community and was the first form of communal, organized land owned and occupied by African Americans in the city of New York. It was one of the only communities where Black people were able to vote and own property at a time when most African Americans in the country were legally enslaved. However, the village was forcibly uprooted in the early 1850s so that a new park, Central Park, could be built. All of the residents of Seneca Village were forcibly evicted, often through force or intimidation. They were given no compensation or help with relocating. As a result, the community of Seneca Village was entirely destroyed. This tragic story of displacement and destruction was too often overlooked in the history of the city, and the stories of the individuals who once lived in Seneca Village had been silenced for generations. This story is essential to understanding the history of urban development in New York City and the larger American narrative. It serves as a reminder of the injustices and violence committed against African Americans during this period, as well as a testament to the strength and perseverance of the people who lived in and were displaced from Seneca Village. Today, the history of Seneca Village is finally being remembered and memorialized. The Central Park Conservancy recognizes the legacy of this formerly existing village, as they have implemented a history tour to pay homage to its legacy. It is our duty as citizens to continue to remember and share this forgotten yet essential part of our history so that we may truly honor the people who were displaced from Seneca Village and preserve their memory.
Here was the African American village that was destroyed in order to build Central Park. The name of this community was Seneca Village, and right here would have been the All Angels Church. However, by 1855, 225 residents were evicted from the land that they owned. But how did this village come to be? Well, we have to go back to 1825, when the Whitehead family subdivided this land into 200 lots. The very first person to purchase a few lots was Andrew Williams, who was a 25-year-old shoe shiner and purchased 3 lots. Then African Americans from downtown came flooding here to own their own land. This was a great opportunity because by that time, in order to become a voting citizen, you had to own property. By 1855, this was a thriving village with 2 churches, schools, and it was even integrated with Germans and Irish. However, there was a massive smear campaign saying that this was a shanty town that was filled with shacks and people were squatting here in land that they did not own. This was in order to build this huge park because the wealthy denizens of this city wanted a bigger, better park in a rapidly growing city. So they established eminent domain, giving proper market value to the landowners. However, they were barely paid anything. By 1857, everyone was displaced. No one really knows where they went, but by the 1990s, after 150 years of this history being forgotten, excavations were done and they found many artifacts. It's so sad that this community was displaced, especially as it was thriving and were becoming voting citizens. However, this happened many other times in New York City history. Stay curious, my friends.